Hi, my name is Poogle. I am a professional real estate agent serving the different suburbs of Dallas Fort Worth in North Texas. In today's topic, we are going to talk about property inspections. We are specifically going to talk about five things. We are going to talk about what is the main objective of property inspection, when does the property inspection is performed, how do you go about selecting a good property inspector, what happens during the day of inspection, and what do you do once you get the property inspection report. So let's get started. The main objective of property inspection is to ensure the property that you're going to buy is in a good condition. Okay. Now, if there are any defects in the property, you want to ensure those defects are not critical and it is not going to cost you too much money during the ownership of the property. So, when do you schedule the property inspection? Normally, this is done right after you have an executed contract, and the property inspection should occur during your option period. Now, how do you go about selecting a good inspector? Now, the best source for you is to talk with your real estate agent and ask their recommendation for a good property inspector. You can also talk with your friends and family members who have recently purchased a property. No matter what, if you get 3 or 4 names, make sure you call the property inspector, talk with them, check their knowledge and experience, and then go with the one that you're feeling most comfortable with. Okay, you can also check their online reviews. In the state of Texas, property inspectors are regulated. It's a licensed profession. It is regulated by Texas Real Estate Commission called TREC. Now, once you have decided on a property inspector, they have scheduled a date and time. So what happens during the date and the time of the inspection? Now, the property inspector is going to give his opinion based on 2 factors. One, they're going to inspect certain things that are very visual in nature, so it is very subjective. And there are certain things that they are going to measure using an equipment, and then based on the outcome of the measurement, they're going to decide or make an opinion on that particular item that they inspected. Many of my clients ask, Poogle, should I be there with the inspector during the inspection process? It is a good idea. If you have time, you can be with the inspector. But keep in mind, for every 1,000 square feet to be inspected, a good inspector will take anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes to complete the inspection. So if you're buying a house or a property that is 2,000 square feet, it can take anywhere between 2.5 to 3 hours, okay, of time. If you cannot be there during that time period, make sure that you have some time to join during the last 30 minutes of that scheduled time, because by that time the inspector would have completed the inspection and they are going to go through all the items that they found to be working or not working. So they will give you a summary, and for those items that are not working, they will actually go and show what is not working and why they thought it is defective. Okay, it's a good idea to, if you cannot be on site for the entire inspection, make sure you at least allocate time for the last 30 minutes. So what are the things the property inspector is going to inspect? Okay, they're going to start from the outside typically. They're going to look at the foundation. It's a visual inspection. They're going to look at the exterior walls. They're going to look at all the windows and see if there are cracks, if there are any window screens missing. They're going to look at around the windows and see if there is any caulking or cracks. They're going to look at the grading of the lot and to make sure when it rains, the water flows through. If the property has sprinkler system, they're going to turn on the sprinkler and they're going to check if the sprinkler zones are operating. And they're going to check if the sprinkler heads are popping up, and if they are popping up, are they damaged and they are properly spraying water. A lot of the inspector will inspect the roof by climbing on top of the roof physically, but nowadays they use drones in order to inspect the roof. If there are other items to be inspected, for example, like a swimming pool, they will do the inspection of the swimming pool and the equipment for an extra charge. Now, once the exterior items are completed, they are going to go inside. And when they go inside, they're going to look at the walls, they're going to look at the floor, they're going to look at the ceiling. It is visual. If they see any cracks or anything that is defective, they are going to note it down. For each room, they're going to look at all the electrical systems. They're going to turn on the lights, see if the light is on. They're going to turn on the fan and see if it is spinning properly, balanced, or it's making noise. They're going to check each one of the electrical outlets that are accessible and make sure the current is flowing. Then they're going to check the entire plumbing system, meaning they're going to turn on and off each of the faucet in the house. They're going to see if the sink is draining properly. They're going to see if there is any leak under the sink. They're going to look at the commode. They are going to look at the shower heads. So they do a thorough inspection of all the plumbing system. They're going to spend a lot of time in the kitchen because kitchen has a lot of equipments. So they're going to turn on the stove to make sure it is burning and it is heating properly. They're going to look at the oven. They're going to turn on the oven and see if it heats up to the correct temperature. They're also going to check the microwave. They're also going to turn on the dishwasher, run a full cycle. They're going to turn on the garbage disposal motor. If the kitchen has GFCI outlet, they're going to draw current and see if it is going to trip off. So they spend a lot of time in the kitchen. They also check the HVAC system, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. If the temperature is in such a manner that they can cool it, they're going to cool the AC and they're going to measure the temperature difference, and they're going to give an opinion if it is cooling effectively, or if it is cold season, they're going to turn on the heater and they're going to test the heater and make sure it is working properly. They get into the garage and they look at if the garage door is opening and closing. They're also going to look at the circuit breaker. Please keep in mind the home inspector is going to inspect items that are accessible. So if there is a sofa and there is an electrical outlet right behind it, they're going to not move the sofa and then reach out to the electrical outlet and test. They are not going to do that. Very common issue that I see during my years of experience is that sellers normally put a lot of their furniture in the garage. And in the garage, you have the circuit breaker. And if there are a lot of items in the garage and the inspector cannot get to the circuit breaker, they won't be able to check. So what you wanted to make sure with your real estate agent is to ensure that all items that needs to be checked are accessible on the day of inspection. Okay. Now, once the inspection is completed, most of the inspectors will send a report within 24 hours. Some of them even bring a printer and they will print it on site and give you a report, or they will electronically email it to you. Now, once you receive the inspection report, what do you do? So you need to schedule time with your real estate agent, sit down, and then go line item by line item. Each line item, a good inspector is going to make two comments. One, they're going to say it is working as intended, or they're going to mark it as defective, meaning based on their observation, either visually or taking measurements, they're going to say it is a defective item. These home inspectors are not going to give you why something is not working, because they are not licensed or they don't have the depth of knowledge to give you that point of view. Okay. So working with your real estate agent, you need to identify what items are very critical and what items are trivial or non-critical items, right? And based on your situation, based on the offer that you have made, based on the number of offers for that particular property, based on who the builder of the property, based on the ownership of the seller, how many years the owner has lived in the property. Using various factors, you and your real estate agent should come up with a strategy to negotiate with the seller. Okay. Now, to summarize, inspection is a very important process in buying a property. So it has 5 key things. What is the objective of inspection? That is to ensure that you buy a good property. Second is it is usually performed right after the contract is executed during the option period. I went through and discussed about how you can select a good inspector. I discussed what happens during the day of inspection and what do you do with the information obtained from the inspection. Thanks for watching this video. At Rocket Realty, all our agents will be on site during the last 30 minutes of the inspection process, because we want to make sure we hear firsthand from the inspector what is working, what is not working, and we want to get an idea of what is critical and non-critical on that particular property. Hey, if you're in the market to buy or sell, call me, Poogle. The number is right there, and thanks for watching.